Dua Kumayl. O Allah, send your blessings on Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. In the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the All-Compassionate. O Allah, I ask you by your mercy, which covers all things, and by your strength, through which you overpower all things, and toward which all things are humble, and before which all things are lowly, by your might, by which you overcome all things, and by your might, before which nothing stands, by your magnificence, which fills all things, by your authority, which rises over all things, by your face and essence, which remains after the destruction of all things, by your names and attributes, which manifest your power over all things, and by your knowledge, which encompasses all things, and by the light of your face and essence, through which all things shine. O light, O all-holy, O first of those who are first, and O last of those who are last. O Allah, forgive me those sins which tear apart modesty. O Allah, forgive me those sins which bring down misfortunes. O Allah, forgive me those sins which alter blessings. O Allah, forgive me those sins which hold back supplication. O Allah, forgive me those sins which cut down the hopes. O Allah, forgive me those sins which draw down tribulation. O Allah, forgive me every sin I have committed and every mistake I have made. O Allah, verily I seek nearness to you through remembrance of you, and I seek intercession from you with yourself. And I ask you through your magnificence to bring me near to your proximity, and to bestow upon me the ability to thank you, and to inspire me with your remembrance. O Allah, verily I ask you, with the asking of a submissive, abased, and lowly man, to show me forbearance and to have mercy on me, and to make me satisfied and content with your appointment and make me humble in every state. O Allah, I ask you the question of one whose poverty is intense, who presents his need only to you, and whose desire is great for what only you have. O Allah, great is your authority, exalted is your place, and unknown is your plan. Clear is your command, and your domination is overwhelming. Your power is unhindered, and escape from your judgment is impossible. O Allah, I find no forgiver of my sins, nor concealer of my ugly acts, nor transformer of any of my ugly acts into good acts but you. There is no God but you. Glory and praise be to you. I have wronged myself, and I have been audacious in my ignorance, and I have depended upon your eternal remembrance of me and your continuous grace on me. O Allah, O my protector, how many ugly deeds you have concealed, and how many misfortunes you have lifted, and how many stumbles you have prevented, and how many ordeals you have repelled. How many graceful praises which I am not worthy of you have spread. O Allah, my tribulation is tremendous, and my bad state is excessive, and my acts are inadequate, and my chains have tied me down. and my desires have withheld me from my own advantages. And this world with its delusions, my own soul with its offenses and my delay have deceived me. O my Master, so I ask you by your might, not to let my ugly deeds and acts conceal my supplication from you, not to disgrace me by exposing what is secret of my acts, which only you are aware of, and to not hasten me to punishment for what I have done in private, such as my ugly deeds, my offenses, my continuous negligence, my ignorance, and my manifold passions and my forgetfulness. And by your might, O Allah, be compassionate to me in all circumstances, and be gracious to me in all affairs. My God and my Lord, whom can I ask besides you to remove my affliction and to look into my affairs? My God and my protector, you have laid on me rules to follow, but I followed my own whims, and I did not remain wary of adorning my enemy. Therefore, he was able to deceive me through my desires, and destiny favored him in this matter. Thus, I exceeded your limits by violation of your rules, and disobeyed some of your commands. Therefore, yours is the argument against me in all of that, and I have no argument regarding your judgment against me, nor in your decree and your tribulation imposed upon me. Now I have come to you, my God, after my shortcomings and my immoderation toward myself, proffering my excuse, regretful, broken, apologizing, asking forgiveness and repenting, acknowledging, submissive, confessing. I find no place to flee from what occurred through me, nor any place of escape to which I may turn in my affairs, other than your acceptance of my excuse and your entering me into the compass of your mercy. O Allah, so accept my excuse. Have mercy upon the severity of my affliction, and release me from the tightness of my fetters. My Lord, have mercy upon the weakness of my body, the thinness of my skin, and the frailty of my bones. O you who gave rise to my creation, to the remembrance of me, to the nurture of me, to goodness towards me, and to nourishment on me. Bestow upon me, for the sake of your having given rise to me with generosity and your previous goodness to me. O Allah, O my Master and my Lord, can you see me punished with your fire after my belief in your unity, and after the knowledge of you my heart has embraced, and the remembrance of you my tongue has constantly mentioned, and the love of you to which my mind has clung? And after the sincerity of my confession and my supplication, humble before your Lordship. Far be it from you. You are too generous to abandon one whom you have nurtured, or to push away from your mercy one whom you have already brought near, or to drive away one whom you have given shelter, or to leave to misfortune one whom you have spared and shown mercy. I wish I knew, O my Master, my God, my Protector, how you could impose fire on faces which fall down prostrating to your magnificence, and on tongues which have already sincerely declared your unity and have always been thankful, and on hearts which surely acknowledge your divinity, and on minds which possess knowledge of you until they become humble, and on limbs which obediently move to places of your worship, and beckon for your forgiveness in submission. No such opinion is held of you, nor has such been reported, thanks to your bounty concerning you. O all generous, my Lord, you know my weaknesses to endure, a small portion of worldly misfortune, its punishments and difficulties, and before those ordeals which befall in its inhabitants. Even though it is a misfortune and difficulty whose stay is short, whose substance is little, and whose duration is short. How then can I bear the misfortune of the hereafter and the occurrence of difficulties within it? For it is a tribulation whose period is long, whose station endures, and whose sufferers are given no respite. Since it only occurs as a result of your wrath, your vengeance, and your anger. And these cannot be withstood by the heavens and the earth. O Master, so what about me? For I am your weak, lowly, base, wrecked, and miserable slave. My God, my Lord, my Master, my Protector, for which things would I complain to you? And for which of them would I lament and weep? For the pain and severity of chastisement, or for the length and period of tribulation? Therefore, if you take me to the punishment with your enemies, and gather me with the people of your misfortunes, and separate me from those who love you and those who adore you, then suppose, my God, my Master, my Protector, and my Lord, that I am able to endure your chastisement. How can I endure the separation from you? And suppose that I am able to endure the heat of your fire. How then would I endure not looking up to your generosity? Or how can I dwell in the fire while my hope is in your pardon? I swear by your might, O my Master and my Protector, if you leave me with the power of speech, I will cry out to you from among the inhabitants of hell, like those who cry out of hope. I will scream like those who scream for help. I will weep like those who have lost hope. And I will call to you, saying, where are you, O the Protector of believers? O goal of the hopes of those who know you. O the helper of those who appeal for help. O the beloved of the sincere. And O God of all the world's inhabitants. Can you see yourself? Glory be to you, O my God, and yours is the praise. Hearing within the fire the voice of a submissive servant, who is imprisoned within the fire because of his disobedience, tasting the flavor of its punishments for his resistance, and confined within its layers for his sins and crimes, while he cries as one who hopes for your mercy, calls you with the tongue of those who profess your unity, and requests you by your lordship. O my Protector, then how can your servant remain in pain, while he has hope for your past leniency? Or how should the fire cause him pain while he expects your bounty and mercy? Or how can the fire hurt him while you hear his voice and see his place? Or how can the exhaling of the fire cover him, while you know his weakness? Or how can he be immersed in its layers, while you know his sincerity? Or how can the fire's guards hold him back, while he calls out to you, "O my Lord"? Or how should he have hope of your grace in freeing him from the fire, while you abandon him within it? Far be it from you. That is not what is expected of you, nor what is well known of your bounty. Nor is it similar to the kindness and generosity with which you have treated the believers in your unity. Therefore I am certain that had you not decreed punishment for the disbelievers in you, and to leave the opposers in the fire that lasts forever, then you would have made the fire totally cold and peaceful, and no one would have any place in it, neither permanently nor even for a short time. But you, holy are your names, have sworn that you will fill it with unbelievers from the jinn and humankind alike, and that the unbelievers will last in it forever. And you, great is your praise, said in the beginning, and by your generosity extended the grace. Is he who is a believer like the one who is not? No, they cannot be alike. O my Lord and my Master, I ask you, by the power which you have enforced, by your divine decree which you have determined and imposed, and through which you have overcome him towards whom it has been into effect, that you forgive me in this night and at this moment every offense I have committed, and every sin I have performed, and every ugly thing I have concealed, and every folly I have enacted, whether I have hidden or announced it, or have concealed it or manifested it, and every evil act which you have commanded the noble writers to record, those whom you appointed to watch over what is done by me, and whom you made, along with my limbs, witnesses against me. And you are the watcher over me from behind them, and the witness of what is hidden from them. But through your mercy you concealed it, and through your bounty you veiled it. And I ask you that you bestow upon me an abundant share of every good you send down, or kindness which you confer, or goodness which you unfold, or provision you spread, or sins you forgive, or mistakes you conceal. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, my God, my Master, my Protector, Master of my freedom. O He in whose hand is my forelock. O He who knows my affliction and my misery. O He who is aware of my poverty and indigence. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, I ask you by your truth and your holiness, and the greatest of your attributes and names, that you make my times in the night and the day inhabited by your remembrance, and joined to your service, and my works acceptable to you, so that my works and my litanies may all be a single litany, and my life be devoted to your service eternally. O my Master, O He upon whom I depend, O He to whom alone I complain about my situation. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, strengthen my limbs for your service, and fortify my ribs in determination. Grant me eagerness in your fear, and continuity in my being joined to your service, so that I may move easily towards you in the battlefields of the foremost. Hurry to you among those who are prominent. Yearn towards your nearness among those who are eager. Become close to you with the closeness of those who are sincere. Fear you with the fear of those who are certain. And gather with the believers in your vicinity. O Allah, whoever wishes me evil, wish him the same. And whoever wants to deceive me, deceive him. And make me one of the most excellent of your slaves in portion from you, and the nearest of them in station to you, and the most elected of them in proximity to you. For that cannot be attained except by your bounty. And grant generously to me through your munificence. And incline toward me with your splendor, and protect me with your mercy. And make my tongue remember you without ceasing, and my heart enthralled by your love. And be gracious to me by answering me favorably, and nullify my slips, and forgive my lapses. For you have demanded your servants to worship you, and commanded them to supplicate to you, and assured them that they would be answered. So towards you, my Lord, I have turned my face. And towards you, my Lord, I have extended my hand. So by your might, answer my supplication, and make me attain my desires. Do not cut me off by your grace, my hope, and protect me from the evil of my enemies from among the jinn and humankind. O he whose pleasure is quickly achieved, forgive him who has nothing but prayer, for you do what you please. O he whose name is a remedy, and whose remembrance is a cure, and whose obedience is wealth. Have mercy upon him whose capital is hope, and whose weapon is tears. O ample in blessings, O repeller of adversities, O light of those who are lonely in the darkness, O knower who was never taught. Bless Muhammad and Muhammad's household, and do with me what is worthy of you. And Allah bless his messenger and the holy imams of his household, and give them abundant peace. O Allah, send your blessings on Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for all marhumin.